Hi, my name is Jen Slaw, and I'm here to talk to you about my experience with Barry Friedman's ShowBiz Blueprint program. I finished the course about 6 months ago in November of 2013, and I can easily say this is the best course I've taken for my business and probably for myself personally as well. As a result, I feel more empowered. I'm equipped with tools and an actual plan to make some changes in my business that I'd been thinking about for a while, but didn't really know how to get started. I've been able to start to make a big transition in my business, and I feel less scattered, less overwhelmed, and that I'm more confidently and deliberately making things happen rather than just reacting. My story, I come from the juggling world, and I've been a full-time performer since 2006. My connection to Barry goes back a little further, if you'll indulge me for a minute. I actually started to juggle in middle school in 1991, and 3 years later in 1994, I met Barry and Dan at a Raspini Brothers show at the Claridge Casino in Atlantic City. I will never forget that show, partly because I have this amazing autographed photograph to the Raspini sister. Barry had a little more hair back then, but same great smile. And partly because the show had such a big impact on me, it was the most fun I'd ever had at a live show, and it was a juggling show. I loved juggling, and it was so inspiring to me to see two people doing something they loved and making a living doing something they seemed to have so much fun doing. And also their generosity. After the show, they talked to me, they signed that photo, they even passed clubs with me. And for any of you who have met Barry in person, first, you're lucky, and you realize how generous and genuine he is. And that's something that comes through in all of the ShowBiz Blueprint calls, webinars, Facebook group, and is one of the big pieces that makes this course so great. In 2010, I had done some work with Get More Corporate Gigs, and Barry had reached out to me to encourage me to speak at a TEDx conference. I did one paid speaking gig following the TEDx conference, and I realized this was something I wanted to explore more. And then over the course of the next couple of years, a few minor things happened. I got married, buying and renovating a house, co-creating and starring in an off-Broadway juggling show, lots of juggling gigs. So things were busy, but this speaking training idea was kind of still lurking there, and I hadn't really made much progress on it. So in 2013, I was 35. It seemed like a milestone. I was starting to kind of look at where I was with my business and where I wanted to be. And I wanted to figure out how to make the speaking and training aspect more part of my business. I wanted things to feel more intentional, but I didn't quite know how to get started. So I came into the course not just wanting to better market my existing juggling gigs, but make a real transition into more speaking and training gigs. At the time, the cost seemed like a big investment. Looking back, the cost is so tiny for what you get out of the course if you're willing to put in the work. I made back the cost more than the cost of this course during the course with one strolling juggling gig. Strolling juggling, just because I used some of the tools to present myself differently and simply had the guts to ask for more money than I would have ever asked for before the course. The way I see it, there's three components that really make the course effective. The first is the content. There are great tools, great practical tools and systems that you can start using right away, and there are things that have been tested and honed by someone who's had major success using them. Two is Barry himself. Barry is, as I said, so genuine and is genuinely invested in each and every person in this course. He's there to support you and encourage you. He's there to challenge you every step of the way and to help provide encouragement and suggestions along the way. And he's amazing. He teaches, he lives what he teaches, and he shares everything from calls to emails to proposal templates. Often I find myself asking, what would Barry do? I think we should get some of those reminder bracelets made. Three is the community and the accountability groups. This is so valuable, being a part of this community that continues long after the course ends. Anytime I feel stuck or have a question, I post it in the Facebook group, and often within minutes, there's a response, an idea, a suggestion, a resource that propels me forward. The members of this community are some amazingly talented seasoned pros with years of experience, and Barry himself is very active in the Facebook group. The accountability groups during the course, so helpful. There are things that I did during the course just because I told my accountability group I would do, like taking an hour train ride to a networking meeting that I didn't feel like going to, where I ended up making some strong connections. I'll leave you with the story of kind of how everything played out for me during the course. A few weeks in, I made a contact at a bank, and I used the tools from this course to create a really nice, customized introduction and proposal to speak at an upcoming nonprofit conference sponsored by the bank. Then I waited for this contact to open my email. A couple days went by, and I could see that she still hadn't opened the email and looked at my beautiful creation. So frustrated, I posted to the group, this is all great and everything, but how do we get people to actually open our emails? And this was kind of just a frustrated rhetorical question that I threw out there. Of course, Barry responds, well, that's easy, and proceeded to give me a step-by-step script of how to make this happen. And I sort of had to go from the mindset of feeling like I was pestering this woman to realizing that I was helping her and offering her this great thing. And I did what Barry said and called her at the designated time the next day, and she answered the phone, "Hi, Jen," and we had a great conversation. And to make a long story short, I spoke at the nonprofit conference. From that, I made a strong connection with the head of the staff training and development in-house program at the bank, and submitted a proposal to him for a whole series of staff training workshops for the bank. This was something that Barry walked me through. I had no idea what to charge for something like this because I had never booked work like this before. And when Barry first gave me some numbers about what he thought I should charge, my reaction was, there's no way I can charge that. But as I let it soak in, and I talked about it with my accountability group, and I decided to just totally trust Barry and to do exactly what he said, and I put the proposal together. Within 1 hour of sending the proposal, I received an email back that simply said, "Wow," in all caps with an exclamation point, "let's move forward." And I was so excited. This was October 23rd, 2013. I will not forget that date. I shared the excitement with Barry over the phone. And since then, I've done 2 sessions with the bank, and we're talking about more. And I would say I charged them probably about 6 times what I would have thought to charge before taking this course. So about 6 months out, I'm booking more speaking training gigs. I'm more comfortable charging higher fees, talking to prospective clients, and I'm feeling more empowered to be doing the kind of gigs I want, working more during the week, less on the weekends, so that I have more time with family and friends. So it feels a lot more intentional, and I feel a lot more empowered. It's definitely an ongoing process. There are systems that I'm still putting in place, but it's a huge step forward in such a short period of time. So if any of you are serious about really making some positive changes in your business, then I can't recommend this course more highly. Barry, I just want to say thank you so much for all you've given me. I can't wait to meet again in person where I can give you a thank you huggle. That's my combination of hugging and juggling. And I hope to see some of you in the alumni group. Good luck.